this afternoon to provide this court with some indicia of evidence that, or just some indication that there's some substantial change of circumstances occurred in this 23-day period. He's failed to do so. Given that, Your Honor, given that he's failed to lay that out, pursuant to 15-8, because he has failed to lay out a prima facie case, I respectfully submit to this court that Your Honor should dismiss with prejudice this application, because it was filed not based on any, it was not filed in good faith. It was not filed with a good faith belief that anything actually occurred in that 23-day period. Instead, it was filed based on information that had already been repeatedly brought before the court. Information that he's already been the orders have already been entered prohibiting him from dredging up all of these allegations. Mr. Magliari even goes back in this motion to, he wants to bring in evidence from 2003 to 2004. We are recycling. I made the comment earlier this morning, Your Honor, this is Groundhog Day. I have been present in this court with these parties, representing Ms. C, for well over a year now. Every single time it is the same argument over and over and over again.
Sir, put your hand down.
In order for this court, pursuant to 46B-86, to order a modification, the threshold showing has to be made if there's been a substantial change of circumstances. Mr. Magliari has failed that burden. He has not shown that there's a substantial change of circumstances.
Thank you. Mr. Magliari, was there something else you wanted to say?
Yes, Your Honor. I have proof here that we cannot believe what Judge Kaufman says because he is not following the rules of the court. He was aware that Mrs. C was hiding her private business for more than a year, and he came in here. He never notified the court that she had a private business, self-employment, that she failed to show on her financial affidavits. And he never notified the court that, well, Mrs. C also committed perjury when she came to the court and claimed that I held a gun to her head on at least 4 occasions.
Well, sir, that has nothing to do with your motion for modification.
Well, it does, Your Honor. Judge Heller's judgments and rulings have been based on the plaintiff's testimony and credibility. And if you look at her credibility, you can see she hasn't filed a financial affidavit that's been honest ever since.
That's your opinion, sir.
No, I proved it. I can prove it today, right here.
Well, I don't need you to prove it today. It was up to you to prove it in the past.
Her financial
Today, all you need to
affidavit that came in today.
Sir, listen to me. All you need to prove is that there's been a substantial change in circumstance from May 1st, 2018 to May 24th, 2018. That's what you need to show.
I can prove that if I can cross-examine her and
Cross-examine her on what, sir?
the financial affidavits before and after those dates. You can see there's been misconduct and deceit as well as dishonesty.
But, sir, in your motion, you need to allege the substantial change in circumstance that occurred. A motion for modification isn't a fishing expedition where you get to decide if you can ask questions and then prove your motion for modification. You need to have a reasonable basis to bring it.
I have it. It's right here. If you
Well,
look
the
at
reasonable basis
financial
that you put in your
affidavit.
motion is all things that took place far before
No, in after.
2018.
Oh, look at this financial affidavit that came in today. She's not showing her automobile insurance.
But that does, sir, that doesn't prove whether or not there was a substantial change in circumstance
It
from May
proves
1st to May 24th, 2018.
It proves she's still withholding information that she's supposed to supply. And
Such as her car insurance?
well, that's only one of them. Yeah, car insurance, I'm sure, is a couple $1,000s a year. I know mine is. Contributions from household members is not shown. That's one of her main sources of income.
Sir, didn't we just discuss how the contributions from family members aren't considered income for child support purposes?
Judge Heller said in the last hearing we had that the money that her husband's giving her should be used as, should be shown as income.
Okay, well, that's Judge Heller. That has nothing to do with right now.
Your Honor.
Right now we're talking about you showing the change in circumstance that occurred May 1st to May 24th.
Okay, well, we have to go through these financial affidavits to be able to show it.
But sir, you got the affidavit today, so that doesn't prove the substantial change that took place before May 24th.
Well, it's my understanding that this court does not want my child to receive fair or reasonable child support. That's pretty apparent. I can see that. And that's why I'm asking that I could
Sir,
go...
I have to apply the law to the facts, okay? Do you understand?
I-
And the law is what I'm telling you. You need to show a substantial change in circumstance from the time of the last order to the time of your motion
Well-
for modification.
If you look at history, the last time I was here, I did that. I showed a substantial change of circumstances. I showed 3 financial affidavits, all showing that she's changed circumstances from the original to there. And she also testified on the stand that she was receiving $468 a week from her husband.
Was this in 2017? In 2000?
She testified in 2017 on the stand, yes.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do, sir. I'm going to review the file again, okay? I'm going to reserve my decision on whether or not there's been a substantial change in circumstance and on the motion to disqualify, and you'll be notified in the mail of what my decision is, okay?
But, Your Honor, you haven't seen the evidence that supports my case, and it's not fair to me.
Well, sir, I've asked you 4 times to give it to me, and you keep going back to 2017 and prior to the motion.
I'm trying to give it to you, Your Honor. This is your package that I would like to go through. I prepared this package for you.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry?
I said, okay.
It's the standing orders that were in the evidence.
Standing orders are that you're supposed to provide a list of exhibits, not the exhibits to the court, okay?
I've given you that, and now I have the exhibits.
Okay, and those exhibits show the change in circumstance from May 1st, 2018 through May 24th, 2018.
I don't know if I could word it like that, but they show justification for a modification of support. You have one reason is because the court is supposed to take into consideration the plaintiff's capability of earning capability, capacity. Okay, that needs to be taken into consideration if you want to issue a fair child support
So you didn't
order.
raise that in your motion to modify?
I'm raising it now. It's part of something that should be considered if you want to rule fairly.
Well, there's a lot of things that should be considered if one wants to rule fairly, but what's fair is that the court rules upon the issues you present in a motion, because it gives the other side fair notice of what's going to be presented.
Well, I
So
haven't
you
gotten
can't
fair
decide,
notice.
off the cuff what the basis of your motion for modification is. It has to be within the body of your motion for modification. And you didn't claim that there suddenly is an earning capacity that occurred from May 1st through May 24th of 2018.
Well, as you look at history, Your Honor, you can see Judge Heller had all this information, that multitude of evidence showing a change of circumstances, and she denied my motion, saying, and blamed me for it, saying I didn't prove my case. Okay, she had 3 financial affidavits.
Well, sir, and I understand, but I don't have that evidence. I'm not ruling on that. That Judge Heller ruled on it.
Okay, well, you have that
I'm ruling
before
on
you.
the motion for modification that you filed back in May.
Okay,
Okay.
well, basically, Your Honor, I cannot represent this motion because I've never gotten a true and complete financial affidavit, nor have I ever gotten one in a timely manner that gave me the opportunity to review it properly, to represent my case. And also, if you look at the evidence, Your Honor, you can see Mrs. C has a history of committing perjury, filing false claims, and making false IRS. You can see in 2005, she claimed 4 dependents that lived in Ecuador, claiming that they lived in my house. Okay? I have proof in this case going back 15 years showing tax fraud for 15 years.
So you're using a lot of terms of perjury and fraud, which are
Yes.
crimes. Has she been arrested?
No, because the court keeps, and Mr. Kaufman have done everything they can to help her evade her responsibility. You can see in the tax returns,
Okay, well, sir, I'm going to look through the file, okay? I'm going to look through the file again,
but
and then you'll get my decision in writing,
totally
okay?
unfair, Your Honor, because you do not know the whole truth. For you to make a decision without knowing the whole truth is totally unfair to me.
The whole truth is from May 1st through May 24th.
There's more truth than May.
I understand, but sir, that's the parameters I have to look at by law, okay?
Unfair, Your Honor.
Okay.
The court should be looking at what is fair and reasonable and not issue court orders that are unfair and unreasonable and not enough money to support a child in Fairfield County. We're not living in Bangladesh where you can live on $14 a day.
I understand, sir, and those are all issues that you potentially brought up before Judge Heller, or should have brought up before Judge Heller when you had that first modification hearing.
Judge Heller did not allow me to be heard to speak. He constantly interrupted me, and you can see, I would ask that in the interest of what's best for my daughter, we review the transcript from the last case because
Is that
Judge
the
Heller,
transcript you gave me?
the transcript I gave you.
Okay.
I said, in this transcript, you will read, I was representing motions for sanctions because he failed to provide discovery according to the rules of the court, and they also failed to provide a financial affidavit showing their income, etc., etc. Okay, and I was representing my hearing, my case, I was representing my motion for sanctions, failure to produce discovery, failure to produce a true and complete financial affidavit to Judge Heller. And in here you will see Mr. Kaufman kept interrupting me and saying, well, when you file for the modification, it's got to show substantial change between March, April, whatever. And I'm like, I'm not here to talk about modification. I'm here to discuss my motions for sanctions because he failed to produce discovery and a true.
Okay, well, sir, I'm going to review the transcript that you gave me.
Important part, you're not letting me finish, Your Honor.
Well, sir, you've been going on now for several hours.
Please, in the name
Okay.
of Jesus, one last thing, let me tell
One
you.
last thing, sir.
Okay, so, as I was trying to be heard and represent my motions, you can see in this transcript, I requested to both Judge Heller and Mr. Kaufman to stop talking about this other motion, future motion for modification. I wasn't in the court to discuss that. Not only did he keep bringing it up to distract me from presenting my case, Judge Heller did the same thing. I was trying to talk and present my motions and be heard. And not only did he interrupted me maybe 15 times.
Well, he
Not with
hasn't
objection.
interrupted you today, sir.
No, he hasn't,
You've had
no.
plenty of
No,
time to
he's not
speak
gonna-
today.
It doesn't
okay?
appear that he's going to get away.
Okay, so is that the last thing you wanted to tell
No,
me?
Judge Heller, while I was speaking and trying to present my motion for sanctions, she interrupted me to talk about this motion for pending motion for modification.
Well, she's allowed to do that because she's the judge. So
Well,
she gets to
she's
dictate
a
what goes
judge.
on in
She's
the
made a
court.
lot of mistakes, including the last modification. There was plenty of evidence that showed significant change of income.
Substantial change of
Substantial
circumstances.
change of income. There's no way she could have missed all that. And also, when you look at the mark, where we are now, when, I don't know, was it March, April, whenever it was the thing you're saying within the 2-week frame, when she made the decision and I filed a modification?
Yes.
You're saying we got to do something within that frame? I lost track of what I was saying.
All right, sir.
The
I understand what
the
you're
judge
saying.
interrupted me. She hasn't let me be heard. This man,
Don't point at him, sir. You can refer to him as
he's
Attorney Kaufman.
done everything possible, including all these things. She has done, if you see the court files, the money that she's put in there, as far as her spending, there's no way she could put $9,000 away in her pension or pay the $25 a week. She's paying charitable contributions $25
All right,
a
so
week.
you already made that point. I heard when you told me that.
Your Honor, the attorney's oath. This man has, including, he keeps claiming he's pro bono. He claims he comes here for free for going on 3 years
It's
now.
irrelevant if he's paid or if
No,
he's not.
he is allowed to lie to the court.
Your Honor, I'm not lying to the court. I represent this woman pro bono and have since the day I met her.
So just because you believe something doesn't make it true.
This says he has an obligation to inform the court of anything dishonest that he knows. He had to know that her claims of self-employment that were hidden from her financial
It
affidavit.
doesn't necessarily, he should have known. Okay,
Well,
sir?
I'm sure after he reviewed the case file, he saw Attorney Costello on April 25th, 2016, file a child support worksheet putting in zero income when they were being dishonest, and he did a worksheet based on zero income. And there's no way she had zero income at that time, because like I said, she had just put $45,000 into a business investment.
Okay, you
also
made
there was-
those arguments, and those are all arguments
if you
made
look
in 2017, correct?
Well,
Okay.
if you look between 2015 and 2016, between her Florida affidavit and this affidavit, $80,000 of assets disappeared. And she said to the court, and in these letters, I took all that, she said, I took all my money, because I asked her on the stand, what happened to the $80,000 that was on your financial affidavit? She said, I used it to buy home furnishings when I bought my house. And if you look on the following financial affidavit, April 2016, $80,000 disappeared from one financial affidavit to the other in 9 months.
Are you talking about 2016, 2017? Is that the period of time you're speaking
No, 2015 to 2016.
of? Okay.
$80,000 of assets disappeared, and I presented that to Judge Heller, and I asked her to compel discovery, because several times you were told by Judge Collin to provide the discovery. They were granted a 30-day extension because they asked for that. And then when the 30 days was up, they didn't provide it. I came to
Okay,
Judge
so
Heller.
that's all history, okay?
No, well,
And
it's-
I understand.
it's
And I
history.
am gonna, as I just told you, I'm gonna look at the file again.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then I'm gonna make a decision on both the
May I
motion
have
to
a closing
disqualify.
statement?
Wait, let me finish.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Motion to disqualify, and also, whether or not there's a substantial change in circumstance for the motion, to modify, and then the motion to disqualify, okay? All right, so we're gonna stand in recess.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I just got housekeeping, I
May I
apologize, I'm
have a
very sorry.
closing statement, Your Honor?
You already made it, sir. Yes.
Sorry, Your Honor. First, I've not yet handed Madam Clerk a
Oh,
copy
yes.
of Ms. C's affidavit. May I present
Yes.
it? Thank you very much. And then also, I also wanted to, Your Honor made a comment earlier this morning about a 2017 tax return. I just want to clarify for the court, Mr. Magliari requested them. An objection was filed.
Okay.
Judge Heller sustained the objection,
Okay.
ruling that the 2017 tax return did not have to be provided.
Okay.
Nothing
Understood.
further. Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Thank you all. I'll let you know my
May I say one thing on
decision.
behalf of my daughter's well-being?
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor.